Shmai, hello everyone, take 236. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is draw a mark there in the middle. So I've mentally divided the page up into three. I've placed a mark there. I'm using this part of my hand, press it firmly, and it's going to be a perfect circle. What I do there is, I'm quite restricted in space, so I'm just going to turn the piece of paper around, just lifting it a bit. Perfect. Okay, drawing a circle, and once that's done, I'm going to draw a vertical line. So please feel free to pause video. So vertical line, using that same sort of technique where I'm using the side of the piece of paper, get that line in there. And then what I'm doing is I'm halving that line there because I need the measurement for the chin. So I'm using the top of my pencil, holding it there, the top of my pencil, the mark that we just drawn, and then that's my chin line. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to draw the chin in, and chins change according to the face, but we're just putting basic lines. Again, I'm using my hand as almost like a pivot, just to get that basic shape in. So I'm using that side there, and then I will just pivoting my hand around, picking it up from the bottom, taking it round, matching it up, and then rubbing out any lines that I don't want. Again, chins change. So for example, my chin's a bit square at the bottom. It can tether off a little bit, but what will happen is once you start drawing your self-portrait, when you'll be looking in the mirror 50% of the time you'll be drawing, and when you start looking at your facial characteristics, you'll notice what your bone structure is, and that's really the secret right there. Is you want to be looking at your bone structure. You don't want to be looking from the outside in, but the inside out. And to be fair, I don't know anybody who's ever told me that, and I never hear any other artists say that, but that is essentially the key. You can see that in all the old drawings where they're looking at anatomy. Okay, all right, I'm just going to stop messing around with that. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a vertical line in. So we're going to use that same line there, also using that same technique. Just going to draw a vertical line in here. If you have any issues drawing that vertical line, please use a ruler or a side of a pencil or something to get that vertical line in. Okay, so that's in there. I'm then going to half each side like this, and obviously that's your eyes. That's where your eyes will be. And then I'm going to quarter each side, and then that's obviously going to be the edge of the eyes. So here you'll see the edge of the eyes, and then remember when you're drawing the eyes, make sure you get that little tear droplet in there as well. Okay, so I'm just going to mark those off because what I want to show you is the measurement there. So the edge of that teardrop to the end should marry up with the center point, which it almost does. And then again on this side, yeah. So all we then need to make sure we need to do is we could extend that out or extend this in. But again, you can be measuring your own face because some of those do change. This is just a generic measurements for kind of almost like a universal shape face. Okay, next thing we're going to do, I'm going to extend this line down, and here we're going to find out that the center of the chin that I drew is not the center. So you can then alter that if you need. Okay. A good exercise is also to use to try and draw without using a rubber. Okay, so we've extended this line down, and we're going to half that, and that's obviously where the mouth is going to be. The nose is here, but then what we want to do is know where the edges of the noses are, and then we put that, so we measure the eye bits down. That's not the face crying, but that's just the measurement to show you where the edges of the nose will be, which is here and here. So again, and then the center of the nose will be here. So you can see that will go round like that. That'll be edges of the nose there, kind of like that, depending on how big your nostrils are. That's how big the nose is. I'm using my rubber a lot today. I must have my perfectionist eye in. Right, okay, so we've got the eyes and the nose, so it's just the mouth. Now the mouth I always find a bit tricky because people's mouths are vastly different. Some people are thinner, some people are thicker. So really, you know, have a look at your own measurements there. As the guiding rule, it's supposed to be, if you just get that line in there properly, to the centre of the nose and centre of the chin. Sorry, being an absolute perfectionist. Okay, get that line in there. Okay, so the centre there, that's supposed to be the centre of your mouth. So as a rough guide, that will be the centre of your mouth. And if you have a look at your mouth, the edges of your mouth, again, come to about the edges of your eyes. So where your nose is generally speaking, you've got probably a little bit out there, and out there, maybe a little bit smaller. But mine kind of extend out from my nose. But generally speaking, you've got the edges of your mouth sort of here. And that will be the, if you picked up on that, that's not my stomach, that's my doggy whinging. She's gone outside. Okay, so, and then if you put the quarter line, now supposedly that's where the bottom of the mouth is supposed to be, but I don't think that's quite correct. I'm going to freestyle this, and I think because mouths are so unique, I think that it's really, this is a really good one for you to start measuring for yourself. Okay, so I'm going to kind of say there, just because I'm so used to drawing my own portrait, my mouth kind of comes like that. Things want to twist as well as. It's a bit of a twisty perfectionist day. Okay, and the other guiding rule is if it looks wrong, it probably is. Okay, so that's where my mouth will go, the centre of my mouth will go, but the centre of your mouth will be, might be a bit slimmer or a little bit wider, depending on your genetics. Okay, so final ones is your ears and your eyebrows. So your eyebrows again change, but generally you're looking at following the eye round and it going up, and again the same on the other side. Remember, all faces aren't symmetrical, so don't worry if one looks a bit different to the other. That's just the way we're made. Okay, so as a general guide, that's where your eyes are, and then your ears will fit nicely between your eyes and your nose. Believe it or not, my ears are my favourite part of my body. I don't know why, I just think they look really cute. Okay, and then pop your ears in. And okay, so I'm hoping you can see that okay, and that is your general guidelines for drawing a face. Now when it comes to cross hatching and shading, sorry, to add that sort of 3D look, what I will do is I'll just quickly show you on the nose, because nose is quite a good one, because there's a lot of the nose needs to come out. So basically, so if I then put the edge of the nose in here like this, if I then want to add and this bit here, I think it's called clavicle, I don't know, I'm not sure what that bit there is, but if I want to then start adding shade, I'll just cross hatch to begin with. There's lots of other ways to shade, but the basic way to shade is cross hatching, and obviously the wider the hatch, the lighter it looks, the closer the hatch, the thinner it looks, sorry, the darker it looks. So just as a quick example, This is wide and it doesn't look very dark, and this is close, and obviously then that looks darker. We can then cross hatch them like that, hence the term cross hatching, to really get that darkness in as well, like this. Now that, again, that is just all experimentation, and you're just at the moment just getting the guidelines in there as well. So as you work into drawing your own portrait, it's really an exercise in looking at yourself and looking at the measurements of your own face and putting that down on a piece of paper. So be confident, be happy, and you are all beautiful.